Alright, so today we are going to talk about fractions, and this is going to be a very basic lesson, what fractions are, what the numbers mean, and how to add and subtract fractions with like denominators. So, let's move forward. We have two parts to a fraction. There is the top digit, which we call the numerator, and then there's a bottom digit, which we call the denominator. And I apologize for the writing. I will get better at this as we go on. Now, I'm going to change the size here. Let's talk about the denominator. Our denominator tells us how many pieces make up one whole thing. So, let's use something simple. If we use a 2 at the bottom for our denominator, that means our whole has been broken up into two equal-sized pieces. It's important to know that they're equal. Now, our numerator will tell us how many of those pieces that we actually have. If we add a 1 along the top, it means that we have one piece and our whole is made up of two pieces. So our fraction would be 1/2. Now let's look at just the next page. Now, on the top in the top figure, you'll see that I have one circle split in half, just for reference. This is the one we're looking at. And if I were to shade in one of these pieces, there we go, we would have half of our piece shaded in. Now, to write this as a fraction, I'm going to change sizes again, I would put my fraction line, and my numerator, or my denominator, the number on the bottom, is going to tell us how many pieces our whole has been cut up into. It's two pieces. There's one here, there's one here. There are two pieces that make up the whole, and we have shaded one of them. Our fraction is 1/2. So let's look at the bottom. In the bottom figure, we have it cut up into 1, 2, 3, 4 pieces. Our denominator becomes a 4. Now, if we shade in one piece, that means our numerator would be a 1. We would have 1/4. Now, what if we had more than one piece? Say that we had two pieces. I would go ahead and shade in another 1/4. We can add 1/4 to 1/4, and it will give us 2/4. Now you'll notice that in addition we only add the numerators, or the top numbers. The reason we do not add the denominator is because the number of pieces that make up our whole did not change. You'll see that when I added this piece to this piece, we just shaded in more. We didn't actually change the size of the pieces that made up our whole. So there was still 4 pieces that made up our whole. It was still 4 pieces that made up our whole. And we still have 4 pieces that make up our whole. When adding fractions, we do not add the denominators, just the numerators. 1 plus 1 equals 2. For our last one, we have our figures broken up into 3 equal pieces. Here's our fraction line. Here's our 3. It's in our denominator, and it tells us how many equal pieces we have. So, if I shade in one piece of my third, I would have 1/3. If I shaded in 2 pieces of my third, I would then have 2/3. And finally, if I shaded in 3 pieces of my third, I would have 3/3. Let's look at it one other way. Here is our figure. That is a horrible drawing. I'm going to try that one more time. Okay. This one should look a little better. There it goes. Now, let's split it down the middle. We have halves. And split it again. We have fourths. It is 4 equal pieces. Now, we are going to assign each piece its own fraction. So, we'll start over here. We have 1/4. That's a horrible 4. There it goes. 1/4. 1/4. And 1/4. Now, each piece is equivalent to 1/4. So if we start putting them together, we can make a simple addition equation. 1/4 plus 1/4 plus 1/4 plus 1/4. Because there are 4 fourths in this picture. So let's go ahead and shade them in. There's one of them. There's the second one. There's the third. And there's the fourth. Now, how many fourths should I have? I have 1, 2, 3, 4 fourths. Again, I did not change the denominator because I still have 4 pieces that make up my whole, and we shaded in 4 of them. So, 4 fourths is going to be equal to 1 whole. Now, let's take one more second and look at a quick subtraction problem. Now, I'm going to draw one more figure. We're going to do it easily. And let's break it into halves. So, let's try it like this. There's 1/2, and there's 2 halves. 2 halves. 2 pieces have been shaded in. 2 pieces make up our whole. Very simple. Now, what happens if we took away one of these pieces? So, I'll go ahead and erase this one. Now, if we are taking away, it means we are subtracting. And I took away 1/2 because it's one piece of a whole that has been broken into 2 pieces. And again, we do not mess with our denominator. We look solely at the numerator or the number on top. So we can look up here. 2 minus 1 is going to give us 1. We don't change the denominator because the whole was still broken into 2 equal pieces. And we have 1/2 left over. Let's try it one last time. Here is our figure. Here is it split into 4 equal pieces, or is about as equal as I can get them. Now, I have 1/4, 2/4, 3/4, and 4/4. Let's go ahead and put it down here. 4/4. 4 pieces have been shaded in. Our figure is split into 4 pieces. It is 1 whole at the moment. Now, what happens if we start taking them away? We just erased 1. So, if we took 1 away, we'll be taking away 1 piece from the 4 pieces that make up our whole. And you can see that we have 3 of them left. 3 pieces, but the whole still is 4 pieces to make up everything. But we only have 3. So again, we can look at the equation on the top. 4 minus 1 is 3, but the denominator does not change. And if we took another one away, I'm going to fix those lines. We had 3/4, but then we took 1 more fourth away. And if you look at the figure, we can see that we still have 2/4. There are still 4 pieces that will make up the whole, but we only shaded in 2. So you can look at the top. 3 minus 1 still equals 2. And the bottom does not change. So we're going to end it there today. I hope you found this educational. And next time we'll try to make things a little bit cleaner and a little bit better. This is Mr. Guerrero signing off.